Hi, my name is Dr. Akilah Willery, and welcome to the Melanated Midlife podcast, where Black midlifers share stories of how to live your boldest life after turning 50. Welcome to the Melanated Midlife podcast live. Okay. For anyone that is watching this on YouTube, this is our very first live in-person event, and we have a room full of melanated beauties that are here to share this experience with us. So as we get started, I do want to acknowledge that this is not going to be just all about me, because we've got three experts that are joining us for this conversation to make sure that you get the full inspiration for your midlife journey that you are seeking. And just judging by the way you have received the book, Melanated Midlife, I believe that there's going to be some good conversations happening from here on forward. So thank you for your support. But here we go. So joining us on the panel are three ladies that really, I probably could go on and on about each of your backgrounds, everything that you have contributed to the conversation, but I will try to do it justice because Miss Charlotte Stallings, you are the inspiration, babe. You are the prototype that I'm kind of, in the shadow, but I'm trying not to be creepy about it. But you are doing it. So for anybody that has not met Charlotte Stallings, when it comes to money, leadership, and bold reinvention, this woman does not play. She is the former VP of Ameriprise who built national wealth initiatives for women before launching her new system, which is called the Bold Direction. And I tell you that she is a powerhouse. She is a deeply spiritual woman. And for anybody that is looking for how do I get to that next level, this is the lady that I think you should turn that attention to. So welcome, Charlotte Stallings.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Oh. Next is Miss Angela Brock. And I will tell you, if you are ready to stop playing with your money, if you are ready to create a budget that actually will make this next season possible, Angela Brock is the expert that you need to be talking to. She is somebody who basically wrote the profile of how to get good and not be small with your money, but she does it from a very spiritual angle. And I tell you that everything that she has taught me just by conversations with her and just having her as a guest on the podcast, I can tell you I look at money a lot differently now. It's not just the thing, it's what is going to get you to that thing. Yeah. So, hey, welcome Angela Brock to the conversation, everybody. And then my next lady, and look, she did the hair flip. I didn't even tell her to do it. She is a 5-time Emmy-nominated media producer turned digital dating strategist. So if you are out there in these dating streets, then Tara Stidham is the big sister that is not going to hold back on what advice you need. So she says that her whole mission is to help smart ladies not date dumb. Okay? All righty. So now that I've got you all warmed up for these ladies, I tell you, I've got some questions already prepared for them. So let's go ahead and get started. But we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. So all of you will respond to this, but I want to start with Charlotte. So Charlotte, before we talk about the money, the career, the relationships, I want to start with identity. Midlife doesn't necessarily change what we do, but it can change who we are. Mm-hmm. So what has been the biggest and most unexpected identity shift since you have hit this season?
Okay, so my season started a while ago. When you reference 50, I'm like, ooh, I'm past that. So when I think back to that point or where I am right now, I think being identified as somebody's wife, somebody's mom, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, somebody's friend. It was all of those things. So the biggest thing was identifying who Charlotte was, like coming back to center. And it started with, I think, redecorating a room or something. And my sister had flown in town. We were going to do all this shopping and fix this space up. And she said, so what are the colors you like? colors I like? Yeah, which ones? What's the palette you want to start with? And I couldn't come up with it. Because, and this isn't a slam, but everything had been, well, oh, here's something for the living room and the dining room. Oh, I like that. That's good. You know, I'm in agreement with it. But there was identifying Charlotte and what Charlotte liked, loved, enjoyed, wanted to really pursue. There were some things that were always there, but really it was finding me. It was rediscovering, and not even a because there had been so many years. Our daughter is 27 now, so we spend our lives, I think, and good stuff. I don't regret any of it. It's not bad, but who is Charlotte? Who is Charlotte today? Because it's a different Charlotte from back then and when our daughter was born and, you know, getting married. And we evolve and we grow, and that's good. So that was, I'd say, the biggest thing, just discovering, not a rediscovery, but who is Charlotte today? What does she love? What is she passionate about? What is she going to say no to or yes to? All of those things.
That's deep. That's deep. What do you think, Angela?
So, y'all can hear me okay? So I am not quite yet 50, but it's around the corner. And so through the transitions of just getting therapy and just trying to heal from the inside out, I realized that there's some stuff that's in my bloodline that I was carrying into every season and transition. And so what I would say as far as identity is realizing that just because it was there doesn't mean I have to carry it forward anymore. And I get to choose to stop. I get to choose to break that cycle, and it's really up to me. And just realizing that it's a part of me, but I don't have to carry it and embody it. And so what does Angela look like whole? What does Angela look like healed? What does Angela look like free? Because, I mean, you tell a little bit about my story. I'm debt-free, right, outside of my mortgage, and I'm not 50 yet. You clock that, okay, right? But what I thought about financial freedom looks very different in every season of my life. And so identifying that, just because I got money, new identity is I don't have to spend it either. So, yeah, that's what I would say. Who am I, whole and healed, moving forward? Yeah.
That's beautiful. What are you thinking, Tara?
So when it comes to identity, I am 7 days away from my 5-0. I know, right? Stop. Hey, you didn't hear it? Erase it from the tape. However, as you talked about, I have done a lot of amazing things in my career, and I've always been go, 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 and what's the next thing, and what's the next thing, and what's the next thing. And I should do the disclaimer, I do cry. So just FYI. And God has me in a strategic pause. Okay? When I say I have tried to get up out of the pause, like, oh, but no, I'm going to go. He's like, go sit down somewhere.
Sit back down.
And there's something so beautiful. First of all, now that I've realized that I don't have a choice in it, I'm just going to pause through it, is now that the new identity for me has changed from me being this go-getter and career, and it's really turned inward towards family because our parents, both of our parents, are at that age and stage where I call my parents the kids, and we take them on little outings. And then even with my mother-in-law, like, okay, some things are changing. And so my identity is absolutely shifting in that I'm going through all of these changes in my inner self. Hello, fan. And then all of the things that are happening around me. So right now, I am embracing the pause and even the parts that hurt like hell, because some parts of it hurt. My newer identity speaks up for herself because for many years, I was a single woman raising a child, working, and when you are, and I was away from my family, and we were in Los Angeles, her dad lived in Atlanta, so I had to take a lot because I needed my job. And God shifted my situation so that I didn't have to just sit and take things. I was allowed to speak up for myself. And so even that's new, right?
Yeah.
Because having those difficult conversations, but I used to carry other people's stuff. And I'm like, that ain't mine. I'm gonna go and drop it off at your door, sis, and let you know how I feel. So those are the biggest shifts I see like right now, today, in my identity. And that I'm embracing, because I know in a year from now, when I look back at this part of the journey, it'll be like, that's what it was all for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. All righty. Let's look through some of that lens of, having gone through some things. And I'm going to assume that there is nobody in this room that has had a completely easy path. We're all dealing or overcoming or growing from something. So, Angela, I want to start with you on this question. Many of us were raised to just push through the pain, to pretend that we are fine, even when our bodies are clearly not okay. So my question is, what did you have to unlearn in order to truly honor your body for this season, especially with the big M always around the corner? Like I said, Fan is armed, ready to go with it, whether it's menopause, burnout, exhaustion, all the above.
So we're clear, and I'm being very honest, I'm still unlearning. So this is fresh. So I will say what I am unlearning is, I love what you said, this pause, right? And I'm going to share a story that not many people know, and I don't know that I've shared this publicly, so this is an exclusive. You're welcome. I'm learning to be a better and a different steward over my time. So I am very much, let's push through. We're going to break through, right? My company's name is Hello Breakthrough. So we just going to push through all the barriers and do all of the things and be all of the things for all of the people. And on a flight from New Jersey to Houston a few months ago, I fainted.
Oh.
And so I know, you're welcome. My stepmom would say, who's in the audience, would say, if you don't sit down, he will sit you down. And so when I say being a better steward of my time is because I knew for so long that I needed to stop running as fast as I was running. And I needed to, it was approaching the season of no longer sprinting, like, girl, it's a marathon, take your time. But I often feel like if I'm idle, then I'm not stewarding my time well. So I had to unlearn what society says busyness is. And when you wake up from the floor 30,000 feet up in the air with people checking your vitals, you really come to grips with not only, I don't have to do this anymore, why are you doing this anymore? And everything comes, it's up for negotiation, now it's up for review. And now I choose very intentionally how I spend my time. And if I'm gonna break through a barrier, we done some thinking, we done some praying. We're not just going boldly just because this is what I've always done. This is how I've always shown up. So to some people, it's a no, because a yes is costly. And so for me, it cost me, now I was fine. Now there's nothing wrong. I went to the doctor, which I go to the doctor now. I go to the doctor now, right? I go to all the doctors, like specialist this, specialist that. Like my leg, I think is bigger than the other. Is that lymphedema? We're gonna talk about it because I'm paying for copay. Like, it's one of those things where I just didn't make time for myself, trying to push through. And now it's not an option. And I know for some it's like, well, girl, you're supposed to do that, right? But I wasn't, because I was at work, or I was picking up somebody, or I was showing up for someone, or I was doing all of the things in the name of resiliency, in the name of strong, in the name of strength, in the name of foolishness. And so now I just don't. Yeah.
First of all, I'm happy you're okay.
Right?
I'm happy you're okay. A couple of years ago, my therapist and I had a conversation, and I said, I think black girl magic is a trick.
Yeah.
Because, see, they got us out here performing, and we're supposed to be all these extra things and do so much, and it's like, it's not real. It's not real. You're performing for what? And I understand growing the bottom line. I get it.
Yeah.
However, when we really look at the hoops that we're running through, especially right now in this season,
Oh, yeah.
when they've told so many of us, thank you, goodbye.
Yes, they did.
It's like, what's it all for? What is it all for? So I'm so happy that your yes costs something now. Like that's rich. That's good.
I'd say for me, it would be unlearn feeling guilty. Feeling guilty about not making it to somebody's thing, or
Yes.
somebody's laughing like their thing, yeah. Whatever their thing was, and it was a great thing. It was a
Yes.
lovely thing, but I
Yes.
didn't make it. And I felt like I missed somebody's wedding the other day. It was on my calendar, but I literally left town a week ago and got back. So I've been on the road for like 10 days, and I'm flying out tonight. And it's all good. It's not like bad or strained. And I have to remind myself, I prayed for this. And it's for this season, just literally the next couple of weeks, and it's boosting my bottom line in a significant way. And I'm thankful that people want Charlotte to come and train and teach and speak, so I'm leaning into it. But the guilt of, oh, I didn't make it, or somebody needed something and I didn't give it to them,
Right.
or they wanted all of this and I had that, and so that wasn't everything that they needed. And so the guilt, unlearning that. Nobody taught me I'm supposed to meet or try to meet everybody's needs, but I think I learned that being the oldest in a single parent home, oldest of 5 kids, big sister. They call me Thelma from Good Times because I was always, it's like, I am not Thelma, she is Thelma. But as I look at it, it's like trying to fix everything and everybody. I think it was just, what was unspoken was learned or understood. And so that was a big undoing for me. I don't have to feel guilty about missing something, giving myself the grace to say it's okay. And it's gonna be okay. And when I see them, I just say, girl, congratulations. And your pictures were popping. And yes, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
So guilt of that. And then I'd say one other thing, unlearning not listening to my body. So maybe it's in line with what you were saying. And just go, 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 go. And so just everybody's kind of shared your age. I'm 65, and I turned 65 last year. Yeah. Hey! Yes!
Lock it, honey.
And
Yes.
there was a time when I was like, that seems so old. And now I'm like, it still seems so old. But I don't feel it. I don't feel it in my mind. I don't feel anything about me. I don't even know what that's supposed to be about. And I am thankful and grateful. My maternal grandmother died at 22, 23. My mom's 87, so I'm thankful to be here. But this notion of listening to our bodies, like if I'm tired, I used to just keep on, stay up all night, pull an all-nighter. I used to be really proud of saying I pulled 5 all-nighters this month. I can't hardly pull no more, and I don't try to.
Yeah.
So listening when I'm tired, like yesterday, I came in from Huntsville. I was doing some work at Sam Houston, and I was tired. It was 3:37. I disrobed and ran to the bed and got up at 9 o'clock last night and was supposed to have met a friend, done some stuff, and just grabbed that pillow and turned back over until this morning. And I felt good about it. No guilt, no anything. And I felt very, very thankful and proud that I listened to my body and I did what I needed to do. So that was an unlearning, because there would have been time to just push, show up everywhere, do everything, and then feel really bad because I didn't make it to something. But
Yeah.
and so I would just say, any of you, before you get to that space, start practicing that now. It's okay. And I say this often, you have to know, KNOW, when to say no, N-O. So you got to know your no quotient.
I love that.
So it's okay. And they'll get over it. And if they trip, they're not your people anyway.
That's right.
Keep it pushing, right.
But that leads into the next question, because you mentioned the whole, black girl magic. I always say the strong black woman, and we need to put that cape down sometimes. How many of us are crippled under the weight of the black girl magic? Quite a few. Okay, honey, no, not you.
It's your magic.
Maybe he's crippled under my black girl magic. I don't know. But let's get tactical with this, because if we're saying we got to unlearn some of these habits of being everything, everywhere, for everyone, let's give some advice of how you each individually regulate this? What do you lean on? What tools do you pull out in order to get okay?
I had to unlearn that Tara does not deserve grace. The flip side of that is Tara does deserve grace, right? I would give it to everyone. If you told me, oh, Tara, I was supposed to do and I can't do, oh, that's fine, don't worry. And I'm sincere about it. But for myself, I would hold myself to a very higher standard.
Yes.
And earlier you talked about your partner. You talked about Brian and how he's helpful. I've been blessed with a man who's taught me, and I mean, we talk about like every week, he giving me the pep talks, and I'm like, ugh. But he's like, you have to give yourself the grace, right? So that's one of the things that works for me. And then the other one is really realizing and recognizing there is something chemically and physically going on in my body right now that I can't control.
True.
Like, I have spent the last 6 months in a place, like crying, thinking that, oh my God, it's over, and just like, what am I doing? Like all of those things, right? And having to find the grace to give myself, because I'm like, he gonna be tired of every time he gotta come over here and give me a pep talk. Yeah. But again, that's not his energy or his spirit. And just in these last couple of weeks, because I got to a place where I was like, I don't want to get out the bed. I'm not getting out the bed. Like, I don't want to. And having to, go back on my anti-anxiety medication. Okay. Because that, for me, if I have a lot of channels on in my mind, this puts me on like maybe just 2 frequencies, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second, doing some more research. Like there is, years ago, when I was producing for KPRC Channel 2, I did a story on a woman who she was going through menopause and she thought she was losing her mind.
Does that sound familiar? Okay, yeah. I was just making sure I'm in the right room.
And I, just like I said, within the last week or so, I was like, what was that story? Because there was a condition, there was a reason that she was feeling that way. And I and my good girlfriend, Chatina, from ChatGPT.
Chatina?
Oh, I did.
I gave her all my symptoms, and I'm like, listen, I know it's a thing, and it's a symptom cluster of perimenopause-related depression. And she says, you are not alone, and you are not crazy, right? Yeah. And so for me, going back on the medication, and really knowing that this is just the process that my body's going through. This is just a process. I might do some hormone therapy because I had a hysterectomy last December, elective. Thank you, Jesus. I'm done. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And even though they left my ovaries, I think I'm out of estrogen now, which again, so just realizing that there is something physically going on. Like, no, girl, you ain't lost your shine. You just, it's just a moment.
Yeah, talking about hormone therapy, good Lord. Can I just pause and tell y'all that losing the hormones, it is truly a chunk of your brain cells that oozes out with it. Yeah. So if you, and I have some medical professionals that are in the audience, so if you get a microphone, chime in. But I will tell you that when we talk about, okay, you're going through these things, you're struggling through this chemically, physically, or whatever, and then somebody tells you, oh, there's hormone therapy for that. You actually can get a good night's sleep. And I mean, I'm glistening right now, but I am on my journey to get some of those hormones back in there. But don't shy away from that. I don't know what our mothers, our grandmothers may have had with stigma about, doing these things, but please make sure that you get some updated medical advice about going through this journey. You do not have to suffer. So even though I'm sweating through my cute dress, don't y'all look at the backside when I stand up, okay? Because the sweat is pooling right now. So, Angela, what were you going to say?
So Tara talked about controlling the controllables. And so for me, I'm going to give you all some practical things. So I am a cancer survivor. I had ovarian cancer, some rare ovarian cancer that don't nobody ever get. And can't nobody tell me why I got it. But I survived it in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. So I went through menopause at 32. So a lot of what you're talking about, I've been through. So here are just some practical things that I just have to do now. So gone are the days where I could just roll out of bed. We can't roll out of nothing, okay? So I have to start preparing probably 2 days before an event. Listen, we going. You said yes. This is a choice, okay? You budgeted your time. So what are you going to wear? Try it on, because it may not fit. And when you bought it, you liked it. Today's a new day. Why did you even buy that thing? Where did you get it from? And why you didn't return it, right? Do that 2 days before. And then I know that I'm gonna get hot because it's hot in the bathroom. Why they don't have fans in the bathroom, right? So let me get up and cool the bathroom off, right? Meaning I gotta take my shower several hours before I want to start doing my makeup. You see what I'm saying? These are things that I just know. Otherwise, now I'm mad. And I got an attitude trying to put on eye makeup because I'm sweating.
Yes.
And everything won't apply. And then now I'm looking at a tutorial from some lady on a TikTok while trying to get dressed, and I got to be out the house in 10 minutes. Right? Everything is laid out because I can't remember where I put it. I don't know where it was. It was there when I tried it on 2 days ago. It's not in the closet anymore because that closet light is dim. I don't even know why it's dim. Why there's a dimmer in the closet? I can't see, right? So I pull it out. Everything that I need that I'm going to wear down to accessories is all together 2 days before. And if I decide and I don't show up, it's there and it's going to stay right there until the next event. Okay? But those are just things that I just have to do because otherwise it will ruin the experience of getting dressed and getting out of the house to the point now I ain't even going. Full face of makeup and I'm sitting on the couch because I didn't prepare well. And so while this is a phenomenon, this has literally been sitting out for 2 days because I knew, we're not gonna try nothing new. This is it. I know it fit. I know I like it. I got a compliment the last time I wore it. And on days when I don't feel my best, I'm wearing something that somebody told me I was cute in because it's going to carry me through to the next day. All right?
All right. Charlotte, does it get better? Please.
You know what it does, and here's why. I was thinking as I heard both of you, it is about acceptance. I think that's where I've gotten, and if there are any women my age, my bestie over there, Monica, she can probably relate to some of this, your mother in love. It is accepting some things. So like the night sweats, I mean, let's just get real. That used to wear me out. I didn't want to go to sleep because I just knew I was going to be drenched and frustrated, mad. Everybody mad, I'm just hot, just bad. And then it's like, when is this going to end? So I'm really pleased that you're talking about this. It's not just a conversation now, but your writing's a podcast because I think my mom I don't know that she even said anything about all this.
Yeah.
And no, slam, it's just, what was to say? She was probably hot then too. And like, what to say to y'all? So, and everybody is different. That's the thing too, we're all different. So while there might be some general kind of thing that we could all relate to, we're all different. So our experiences will be different. But acceptance, it is hot, I'm going to be hot. I can turn the fan off, on, I can flip the side of the pillow, do all that.
Yes.
Get bamboo sheets, do whatever. That may work, like as soon as I get them and then they don't work the next day.
Yes.
Honestly, you just have to continue trying to figure out what works for you and some level of acceptance. When I did that, it did get better. I still sweat, but it's not as much. The whole brain fog thing, I used to get so frustrated. Like you say, why is the light on? Who turned the light on? Or this is the worst one. Milan, where's my phone? Where is my phone? Mom, you're talking on it. Okay, never mind. Or the glasses. It's like getting frustrated about that, but just accepting and doing little things to help you remember. So my mom helped me with that. She's like, honey, write everything down. Like get the stickums, put it on your calendar. So for me, a very practical thing that I've had to start doing, I color code my calendar. I live by my calendar. And green is money. And so I run my own business. And so when I look at it, there's Shayna back there. Hey, Sarah. Like, yeah. So when I look at my calendar and it's green, it's like whatever else is going through your brain, you focus on that.
There you go.
Because you won't be getting paid this
love
week
that.
if you don't. Everything else is built around that. I color code other things, personal things. So getting to the gym. I love step class on Friday at my gym. I absolutely do. And so I have that. Health and wellness is a color. Other things are color coded. My clients, my business, I do executive coaching. So those are blocked out and they're color coded. So it helps me focus. Here's another thing that I have done consistently. A couple of years ago, well, I've had therapists over the years, and that's been good, but it would only be when there was a problem or an issue. Let me go find a therapist or call mine up. And I have decided a couple of years ago, I really prayed and said, Lord, give me somebody who is there with me every 2 weeks. Life's up, life's down, it's sideways, it's crazy. And I'm so thankful I was able to find that person. So she's a line item in my budget like everything else.
Yes.
Every 2 weeks we are talking. Come hell, come high water. And it's been like a good thing. So it does get better. With me, it's been acceptance. It's been finding the routine. My therapist is a routine, a consistent thing, and that's knowing that I've got a place, a person to be able to share. And I've got friends, but there was a time where it's like I am dumping on them. And you want to give them some space and some freedom too. So building in the things that I know will help me focus. Green is money, get to that. Nothing else happens. And personal, so family and other things like that. And then being okay with if I don't make it to everything, that's okay.
Yeah.
So those have been good practical tips for me.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because I will say that, you know, we got to get through this piece. I mean, this is a bag that we carry around with us, you know, whatever this change, whatever cute names that we want to give it. Yours is Chatina, mine is just Chat, because I can't remember the name half the time. But let's shift a little bit because some of us in this.
Before we do Akilah, real
go
quick,
ahead.
I just have come to this revelation. It's not just women who go through this. Yes. Men experience this midlife something or other.
True.
Would you like a microphone, Brian?
It is a very real. That's all I'll say. That's a topic for down the road. Maybe you do another live with the men, but do not think it is just us.
I think
That's all I'm saying.
Brian Willery thinks that my menopause is contagious. So, you know, he blames me for it either way. But let's talk about, I mean, in spite of all of this, we are still, you know, some of us are going through some significant changes, especially with relationships in this season. So, Tara, I actually want you to start with this, but I want the other ladies to chime in as well. So, those of us that may be going through a transition in our love lives, I want to speak to that because many women are rebuilding not just romantic relationships, but all relationships. And they sometimes repeat the same behaviors going into new relationships. And I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not judging, but we do this, ladies. Everybody's looking at their shoes all of a sudden. Okay, avoiding the gaze. So maybe I've hit a nerve. So help us with this question. For women who are healing or they are starting over, what is the first power move that they should make if they're entering the dating game after some time away?
I love this question, and I'm ready for it. Okay, single ladies, raise your hand. Single ladies who are dating or at least open to dating, raise your hand. Oh, nice. Usually the hands go down. They're like, no, I don't want to. Just
See, I tried it
opt
once.
out. Yeah, 1 star, opt out of it. So the first thing, and it's going to sound so simple, but it has to happen, and that is find out who you are, okay? And I know you're like, well, I mean, what do you mean I know who I am? No, who is this girl right now? Because what I see most often, and I work with smart, single, professional women, anywhere from 30, 40, 50, 60. My oldest client was in her 70s back in 2020. So again, I embrace everyone. But the first question is, who am I? Yeah. If you're 50 and you're still dating for where you were when you were 20, that's a problem. Because we just talked about the hot flashes and not really want to be bothered with nobody. And like mentally, I'm not gonna remember we had a date anyway, right? So who is this version of you? And then what does she want? Right? So often we continue to repeat because that's all you remember. Well, in my 20s, I wanted him to be this, 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 and those are probably not even the same things you would look for in a partner at this age.
And in our 20s, what we thought we wanted in a
Oh my
partner was probably a
God.
fairy tale.
Oh, listen, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And now here's the thing, because I talked to y'all. Some of y'all still got that fairy tale list out there. And it's not realistic. So we start at, who are you right now? And I don't care about your degrees. I don't care about your job or your car or your kids. Who are you?
Okay.
And that's the first question I ask them to answer because from there, that's where you can create who and what it is that I'm looking for. And what does that feel like in my life? Like, what does that look like? What is that partnership feeling like? And I might get some flack for this. I hope not. But one of the things that I've been thinking about with so many Black women being laid off is, and please take this the right way, ladies, the right partner at this time, that's a godsend. That's a godsend. I have not worked a job since last November when I was very unceremoniously laid off because of some other stuff. However, I haven't missed a beat. I ain't missed a meal. That man takes care of me.
Yeah.
Right? And my income was not, well, if you ain't working, how we gonna? That's never been our story. But I really sit and I think and I pray and I'm like, God, I hope these women have partners who are there to help and stand in the gap with them. Like straight up. Like it's not just, because we get so caught up in, well, girl, ma'am, sometimes you just need a solid ride or die who got your back. And say, babe, we gonna be good. We got it. So.
I got you. Angela.
So I am on my third marriage. That's a disclaimer. So what I will say,
And that's all right too.
because we're going to get it right, hallelujah. But here's what I want to say. When I got on board with being in the relationship with my current husband, one thing that I would say when I was dating him was, what I don't want is another Build-A-Bear man. Oh, y'all know. So, but and that's true, but the truth of it, it was coming from a place of brokenness and being taken advantage of and all of the things. So here's what I would say is you have to heal the root, being very self-aware. Yeah. The reason I didn't want to build a bear man is because I was in a relationship or in a marriage with someone who took a full advantage of that. So healing the fact that I can serve my husband and asking the Lord for someone who's going to reciprocate that and not take advantage of me on a consistent basis, because there are seasons where it's just topsy-turvy, let's just be honest, was key. But being self-aware of the fact that that's a real thing. And the reason that I'm saying this is because I was hurt, because I was taken advantage of, because I was broken. Now I'm not, but what does that look like moving forward? And so I think a lot of times we don't take the time to recover before we reconnect. And so we end up planting the same stuff and then wanting or expecting new things to sprout, but we are literally just not taking the time to sift through the foolishness, heal yourself, be self-aware before reconnecting with someone new. So that would probably be my biggest thing. Take the moment. I agree. Know who you are in this season, because Angela at, how old am I, 47? Angela at 47 is not Angela a few years ago. Angela's not the same a year ago. And what I like today, I need someone who's gonna grow, accept, and evolve with me, because I might turn around tomorrow and, and like something else, right? And I need him to grow and understand that I'm evolving, and he is also growing and evolving. That should be your prayer. Someone who is willing to heal and grow and evolve, not from a place of discontent, but from the place of, I want to be the man that God desires me to be, just like I'm being the woman that God desires for me to be.
That's good. A couple of things. When you said that about your third marriage, and I appreciate you sharing that. A friend of mine it was going into her fourth marriage, and she said, people look and like kind of go, ooh, something's wrong. And she said what she realized and learned was that she has the capacity to love, not just once, but multiple times. And I just always receive that. Like, that's so cool. Like, I don't just have the ability to love one person one time and that's it, but I can love others. And that was really cool. So when you said that, I thought about that. I think about myself. I've been married a long time, and there have been ups and downs, and I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. And I say this to people. If you've been married a day or more, and you going around like, oh, we're so happy, you lying.
You lying.
You lying. And if it's been a month or two or more than that, where's my friend Monica? If I could tell you some of the conversations she and I have had, she has blessed my whole everything. The reality is, it's work. Yeah. Marriage is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. You're yourself, and we evolve and grow. So I appreciate what you're saying, and I think that's what's been really critical for me, to articulate, here's how I'm different. I'm not the girl who was way back when. I'm a different person, and we have to extend that grace. They are different people, and it's not just in love relationships or marriage. It is in our friendships. It is in friendships,
Yes.
and I really, through the pandemic, there's a good friend. We connected every week to, I think, keep our sanity, and then it shifted in these last couple of years, and I remember feeling very, what happened? What did I do? And it started with me. And this is, again, some of my upbringing, just some of codependency that I've discovered that I have, and hang on to this. I must have done something. What did I do? I called. She didn't call back, and all of that. And so letting that go. And another friend helped me to understand there are seasons to everything.
Big time.
And it doesn't mean anything was wrong. Doesn't mean you were a bad friend. It's just that season is what you all needed, that connectedness. And now there's something different. We're still great friends, but I had to let that go.
Yeah.
And give, again, the grace, her evolving into something, a different space, and the same for me. So those have been some key things. Just, I love what you all have said. It's really, who am I? And articulating that, because people can't read our minds.
No. No.
Don't she know this how I'm feeling? No, she does not.
No.
And have you said it? Have you communicated that? How's anybody going to know? How's he going to know how? The kids even, those relationships. Our daughter at, 12 is different as a 20-some-year-old woman now. And parenting her in a different way. So that's a relationship. And it is not, let me tell you what to do. It is, honey, you got this. I'm here. How can I support you? What do you need? With our parents, with our siblings. Again, I'm Thelma. I'm a recovering Thelma. I want to tell everybody what to do. I have one sister who straight read me real good. No, you can't tell me this or that. And I thought, why is she getting so offended? This has been some years ago, but we were grown. And I realized I can't treat them like I did when Mom expected me to have dinner ready when she got off the bus and came home, and I was responsible for everybody. Can't do that. So I took that cuss out real good. And we made up, and we're good, but she read me, and I didn't have that coming, but it was, I understood. I was overstepping. I couldn't manage her, try to handle her like I was when I was 12 and they were 8 and 7 and whatnot. So
that is a big gap.
That's a big gap. Yeah. Well, there's a 7-year gap between the oldest and youngest, but we were close in age, but I was responsible for stuff. And so what I thought, transferred over, carried over. And it's like, no. So understanding who we are, communicating that, accepting people for who they are, and letting them be. It's been a big one for me.
I'll add to that because talking about relationships, and I could say this I saw my son. I think he disappeared. But, parenting differently. And I had 2 stories that I'll tell you. One with Nick in particular, when he was, he was middle school. He was doing some type of welding job. And the kid is talented. He can do a whole lot of things. But of course, I'm jumping in because I see him with fire or whatever the tool was, and he's welding a go-kart that he was building. And I jump in, and I was just like, oh my God, be careful. Don't do this. And he paused very respectfully put me in my place. He said, Mom, even if I'm doing this wrong, how are you going to jump in and do it better or help me? And I was like, oh, you're right. I don't know anything about welding. I can scream and I can, do all the things, but that was a moment where I realized he's got it. I can be in the background and be the cheerleader, but he's got it. And I needed to treat him in that moment a lot differently. So parenting, child, we could probably sit here till next week telling you all about my parenting mistakes and regrets. But I'll add another story to that. Speaking of relationships, going back to romantic relationships, and my husband is a witness to this, because early in our relationship, 27 years, I honor that man as being truly the love of my life and partner. But in that, I will tell you that I did not always live up to my side of it, because I brought that strong black woman into too many situations. And look at him. And there were times where I thought the big bad chick needed to dominate every syllable of the argument. And I'm a tell you, don't, all of the things. And there were many moments where I realized, ooh, you screwed that up. And he would hold that mirror up to me and say, okay, this is what you're doing here. And I think it was after, 2 decades of doing that kind of mess that I realized, wait a second, I have an equal partner over here. This is somebody that I vow to honor and cherish and not step on and do all those crazy, I gotta be the big baddie moments. And we had a moment very recently where I sat down, there were other things that were going on, other dramas. But for some reason, I had a moment of clarity, whisper from God, whatever you wanna call it, that said, you have another chance to make this right. And it was one of those moments, we could have been talking about ice cream or grocery list or whatever, but I had to spit it out and tell him in that moment. And he got it. There was no context. There was no lead up to it. I had to say, babe, I'm going to be a better partner. And he received it. And so I want to tell you, all of us, regardless of what your love life looks like, your relationships are, just understand that every day is not guaranteed. And if you are in that moment where it is precious and you feel it, say it. Show it. Pick up the phone and call that person. Make sure that they hear you, because I promise, like I said, whisper from God, whatever, they will receive it. Okay? All right, now I am not going to cry, oh Lord. But let's move on to talking about careers, because that is the favorite thing that I like to talk about. And Charlotte, I actually want to start with you, because you've done the career shift, you have written the book, you have gone to the mountaintop with all of these things. So I want you to tell us, because a lot of midlifers at this season, they may not be happy in their careers. So when they get that understanding that, I don't really know what I want to do, but there's a fear in making the change. My question for you is, what do you want to say to the woman who knows she can't stay where she is, but fears that she may be too old to make any changes?
So fear, I think, is a thing that doesn't have to always be with us, but there might be that level of discomfort. If we reframe it a bit, discomfort, anxiety, whatever there may be with that. And that's okay. So again, a level of acceptance and just acknowledgement. And where does that come from? Ooh, I'm uncertain. I don't know. I'm unsure. Will something else work? Whatever that might be, just acknowledging that I feel some kind of way about where I am and I want to do something different. I think just acknowledging that for ourselves is a good first thing to do. Mm-hmm. And then I am an advocate. So I've been running my own business now for probably 15, 16 years. I worked at American Express for a number of years, senior vice president of investment strategies, leading our field force, doing a lot of training, a corporate spokesperson, and I traveled a lot. And I remember being tired of traveling. And my husband said, well, you should do something different. And I was thinking, yeah, I will. I spoke to my boss about it, and she's like, we created this job for you. You knew what the deal was. So she kind of like, get with it. And I was like, okay. So Let me keep moving. But I was tired. And then they had this layoff. Not a layoff, they had a spinoff. They spun off my division to create another division. And so it's like you got 30 days. You can check up with the job board, see if you like a job. And I got scared. And I remembered, but I was the one saying I wanted to do something different. But it was comfortable. What I was doing, I was paid very well. All I did was traveled and spoke and was paid very well. The travel was just hard. So I would have remained because it was comfortable. And it took this shakeup, this spinoff for me to go, what do I do now? I can look for something else or I can figure out. And the figuring out was what I opted for. And it again has been hard, but it has been so gratifying. I work harder now for myself than I ever have for anybody. And I love it. I get to choose. So I'm an advocate of each one of you figuring out your thing. So if it's a woman or a man who's here and you're like, whether it's the age thing or you're just tired of it, tired of being handled, whatever that might look like, I want you to figure out the thing that you love, that you probably do now on the side. And everybody, if we said, who does such and such? And they'd all go, her, or they go, Dee Dee, or they go, Monica, or they go, you know what, Marcy does it, go see him or her about that thing, and start to cultivate that now while you can until, before it gets to you've got to go or everything's showing up in your performance because you just don't like it or you're frustrated and it's starting to show in that way. So figure out how you can get a side hustle and then make that your full-time thing. Your part-time thing can become your full-time thing. And even if not, you're doing something that I think brings gratification and satisfaction. And there's somebody, I'm a firm believer of this, we're all conduits. We're pass-throughs. Think about a pipe. Water can go through the pipe. Wires can go through the pipe. It's getting one thing from here to there. And there's somebody who's waiting on you to do the thing that you do, that you've always done, that you've been put on the earth to do, that you're sitting and twiddling your thumbs or going, I don't know what I should do or not do. They won't be blessed until you get up and just put one foot in front of the other and just say, I'm afraid. I have it tatted on my foot. Do it afraid. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Like shake and move. Shake and take a step. And just start with somebody. Tell somebody at your house or a friend or a colleague, you know what, here's this thing that I really want to do. I'm really passionate about it. Who do you know who could benefit from something like this? And it will blossom and flourish from there. So do it afraid. Feel whatever it is. Articulate that. Communicate that to people. But don't just stay in that spot. I'm all about action. Like do something with that. If you're frustrated, talk. Have conversations, get with other people, find other entrepreneurs or other people at work who maybe feel the same and talk, but take action. Don't just talk and rah, 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 rah. That gets us nowhere.
That's draining.
But it's about the actioning and the movement and going forward. Yeah.
I like that. Ladies, because I think, do we all share the layoff story of some kind? Yeah. Anybody else been through job loss before? Okay, all right. But it doesn't just stay there. You don't stay in that layoff. I'm sorry, did I cut you off, Angela?
No, I was just going to remind people, I think Psalm 37 says, the Lord delights in the steps of the godly, and he directs the steps of the godly, delights in every detail of his life. I would just say, if you feel afraid, that restlessness, think of it as an invitation to evolve. I think you're too anointed to stay stuck and to stay in a place where you feel pushed out.
I'm sorry. You are too anointed to stay stuck.
Yeah. And I think a lot of time corporate America will make us feel like we can't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that we can't do, like we seasoned out or whatever the case may be. And I don't know what it looks like. I could just tell you my job laid off 9,000 people last week. My name wasn't a part of that list, but I thought that it was. And I was fully prepared to walk boldly into the next season. So you don't need to Charlotte's saying, you don't need to wait until you get the notice. You already feel the urging to do something new, to do something. So if you're afraid, think of it, I am being invited by God to evolve and to do what he always told me I was supposed to do.
Right.
And be swift about it, right? Don't leave your job if you don't have to, but start building your anointing and your covering and your next step now. So that when they wake up the next day and decide that you're a little too seasoned for their pot of chicken, and they push you right on out the door, you already have something that is built on solid foundation that God is literally waiting to bless and multiply.
Yep. Yep.
I love that so much. Charlotte, you mentioned about that thing that you do well and that people know you for, and that becoming part of, like, that's what your ministry, like, that's what you are meant to do. And I shared this with you on the podcast originally. So I started my business because I met my husband online, right? And I had a conversation with one of my dear girlfriends. She's like, I want to do it. I'm like, well, come on, do it. She's like, but I don't want to put my name on there, my pictures. And I'm like, let me show you how to do it. So that's how I started my business. And I was supposed to have one event. And so 10 years later, here I am. However, in the middle of what was going to be, because I'd already claimed it, had everything together, my most successful year, the start of, I had a terrible family tragedy and had to dip off. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely said, if you didn't give me, when I was out here trying to help you get a man, that's on you. That's on you, sis, because I have to go and heal my heart. And for about 18 months, God didn't even let me talk to my audience, meaning he was just like, be quiet, sit down, be still. And that's another thing.